Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Perseverance Marameni, also known as Madam Speaker. So today I'm just going to be responding to one question that I've been getting a lot, which is how do you do it? Because I'm going through the same thing that you went through and I don't know how to survive. I feel like I'm suffocating. In all honesty, I feel like there's a lot of people who went through what I went through and they never live to tell the tale because the pain is excruciating and it's really a deadly place to be in. So for me to be able to speak about it, I thank God for that, and I know that the more I speak about it, the more I get my healing, and the more I speak about it, other people get their healing from that. I always say that I don't wish divorce on anybody, not even my worst enemy, because it's a very painful place, it's a very dark place to be in, and it's not a pleasant place. Because first and foremost, when you get married, you're not getting married to get divorced, and when it eventually happens, it hits you by surprise, or it hits you hard because your forever is coming to an end. You understand what I mean? So I always say that when I feel or when I see somebody going through the pain that I went through, or just going through the pain of divorce itself, it's more like when a mother is seeing their child going through labor pain. Because they know the pain, they feel like they can just take the pain from them. But then unfortunately, the child has to bear the pain. The child has to go through the process themselves for their own personal growth. So I used to say this a lot, even when I was still going through the process, to say, Lord, if it was possible, take this cup away from me. But then I remembered that when things are good, when things were good in my life, I never said, God, take this cup away from me and give it to somebody else. I was like, yes, Lord, I thank you. I appreciate everything that is happening in my life. So in the same breath, when things are going south, I can't say, Lord, take this cup and give it to somebody else. No matter how unbearable the cup is, I have to just go through it myself, because this is my cup. This is my cup. But in all honesty, just to even hear that somebody's going through what you went through, and you know the pain and how excruciating it is a painful thing to experience, because it's a trigger on its own to say, I was once here and I was once at a point of hopelessness. And at the same time, I thank God because I was able to bounce back from that, because it's not everybody that goes down there and they have the strength to come back. So for me to even come back from that, that is grace. It takes a lot of strength to come back from that. And I believe that, you know what, once you get there, some people never even live to tell the tale. And it's only by the grace of God that you are able to live to tell the tale, to bounce back from that dark place. You can have sad, depressing moments, but sometimes when you go all the way, you can't find yourself back. That is why a lot of people get depressed post divorce. They have to be admitted into psychiatric wards to actually be okay mentally. Then they can come back because of the aftermath of divorce. So, the things which helped me, my coping mechanism throughout my divorce, even now I'm still applying the same thing, is that number one, I am very accepting. You have to be accepting. You have to be accepting that the person that you wanted to spend forever with is now your biggest enemy. The person you trusted the most is now the least trusted person. Actually, that person should not even be on the list of people that you trust. The person that you love the most now has to be the person that you do not like the most. You understand what I mean? So you have to be accepting of the fact that the person that I always spoke beautiful things about, I always saw beautiful things about, now I'm about to see ugly things only. And you have to prepare your heart for that, to say, listen, I am ready for the worst. I'm ready for the worst. I need you to forget about the fact that this person ever loved you. Because once you have that in your mind, when you're going through divorce, to say, this person once loved me, I'm telling you, you're going to be hurt, because you're going to be viewing them from a point of love. And when you view them from a point of love, and you're remembering that this person once loved me, this person promised me forever, everything that they do is going to hurt you, because you are looking at it from a point of love. But if you look at them as your enemy, if you look at them as somebody who is like here for your head, if you look at them as somebody who just wants your head on a chopping board, it is painful because it's strenuous. You are tense all the time, but it helps with the accepting process, because it makes you aware. You need to like train yourself to say, listen, now we are not loving, now we are fighting. This person right here is my biggest enemy. And once you get yourself to be in that place, to say, now I'm dressed for war, then whatever that is being thrown at you will be acceptable. I always used to say that I wish I had died before I saw the worst side of my ex-husband, or I wish I never got to see the worst side of him. And I believe that even with me, this is the worst side of me that he had never even seen. Because I believe that had I died before we got to divorce, he would have always seen me as a beautiful person. But then because the death is happening of our marriage while I'm still alive, then you see the worst in this person. So the first thing that you need to do is that you need to just be accepting. You need to be accepting that you are now fighting, you are now at war with the person that you wanted to spend forever with, you know. And then you need to understand that this is your cup. This is your cup. You cannot pass this cup over to anybody else. That is why when you said I do, there was nobody else to come and say I do on your behalf. There was nobody else to come and say, you know what, she's too excited for this cup, so let me take it for her. Let me say I do for her. You did that on your own accord. You know, in as much as it's painful, in as much as when you got married, you never got married to get divorced. When you got married because you were wishing that you will do forever with this person. When you put in your money, when you put in your hard work, when you build with this person, you were not building from a point of someday I will destroy, someday all of this will crumble down. You were building because you were thinking this is a permanent thing that I'm doing. So it's understandable why you would be going through so many things, why you would be going through so much pain when things don't go out the way that you planned for them to go out. But I need you to understand that at the same time, nobody forced you to get married. Nobody forced you to do all the things which you were doing for this person. You understand what I mean? So because nobody forced you to do them, you did them on your own accord. You need to be accepting of that. You need to be accepting of the fact that, you know what, it's okay. You know what, when I did this, I did it out of the goodness of my own heart, and I was doing it for the good of my family, but it didn't work out, and it's okay. If you can always use acceptance as a point of reference in every single thing that's going to be happening throughout your divorce, then you'll be okay. You know, you're not going to be 100% okay. You're not going to be smooth. It's not going to be smooth all the time. Hello. You know, so, but then the unfortunate thing about it all is that because it's your cup, nobody can take it away from you. I remember a woman of God said to me when the whole process started, she said to me, I need you to listen to me very carefully. Because you don't have a mom, I know that throughout this process, one of the things that you're always going to say is, I wish my mom was here. My mom was going to take it away from me. But even if your mom was here, she was never going to take it away from you. So I need you to understand that throughout this whole process, don't even for once think that if your mom was here, things were going to be better. Because I have my mom, I have my dad, but I went through divorce and it was excruciating, and it was my cup to drink, and I had to drink from it. So I just want to say, you know, for everybody who's going through the same thing, it is your cup. It is your cup. You have to drink it. And I need you to drink this cup from a point of acceptance, because when you do everything from a point of acceptance, you are able to bounce back from that. Because the first thing is that you need to understand that the person that you are divorcing now is no longer the love of your life. You know, even if you still love them, but I need you to understand that in as much as there is no war in love, there is no love in war. You understand what I mean? So this is your enemy number one. If this was your biggest cheerleader, this is the person that you wanted to spend forever with, I need you to change that around and accept that, and understand that this is now my worst enemy. I need to put on my armor. I know that your brain will sometimes take you back to when you walk down the aisle, take you back to when this guy was approaching you, but you are here now. You know, all of that is not going to help you. All of that is not going to make the divorce any better. So I need you to just understand that now you are looking at your enemy number one, who is the person who was the love of your life, you know. And you need to understand that there's no way you can ever have anything beautiful to say about somebody that you are at war with. There's no way that you can ever be fair when you want to fight with somebody that you are at war with. The same way that when you are loving someone, even through their mistakes, you choose to ignore them and you see only the beautiful things. So when it comes to divorce, even when there are some good things, you have to put those aside and focus on just fighting with this person. You will get to deal with all of that later on. Né? So you need to be accepting. You need to be accepting that you're going to see the worst in this person. At some point in my life, throughout the divorce, I felt like, you know what, had I died before I got divorced, I never would have seen the worst in this guy. You know, had I died or had he died before we got divorced, he never would have seen the worst side of me. That is why it is always a beautiful thing to see a couple who was together and death, like real death, separates them while they're still in love, because they have long-lasting, beautiful memories of one another. But when it comes to divorce, by the time you guys have gone our separate ways, you already see an enemy. You already see this animal who is your ex, right? But then obviously as time goes by, as the healing takes place and everything, especially if you have kids involved, you have to come back together and you have to actually make a peace with one another because for the sake of the kids, right? But during the process of divorce, you need to understand that war is war, and there's no fairness in war. So when you are at war with that person, forget about who they are. You just have to do what you have to do, and that is to fight. And you are fighting for your own survival because the other person, on the other hand, is on survival mode. So when you're on survival mode, whatever that works for you, whatever that helps you function, you do that. You don't look at who is watching you, because I think one thing that also kills us a lot is the fact that we are more worried about the spectators. Even the Bible says in Proverbs 29 that it is not wise to care much about what people have to say about you. You should be able to care about what the Lord has to say about you. So when you are going through all of this, I feel like the biggest problem, the biggest cause of stress, of depression, and everything is just the shame, that people know what you're going through and they're laughing at you. And the sad part about this whole thing is that usually the shame is put to women, because when people go separate ways, it's always, that woman, that woman failed to build her own home. If a wise woman must build her own, it always goes back to Proverbs 31. It always goes back to it being your fault that your home fell apart, as a woman. The shame, the cloud, the dark cloud of being a divorcee, of being a returned soldier, is always on the woman. And I personally decided that I'm going to break that. You can always project that on other people, but when it comes to me, I will not be carrying that load. I will not be carrying that dark cloud. I will not be carrying that shame. I will not be going around with the weight that I'm divorced, I have failed. Yes, well, I am a Job of my lifetime. I am the Job of now. So whatever it is that I worked hard for, the Lord knows my conscience is clear because I put in the work. I know that I worked on this marriage to the T, and there's absolutely nothing that I regret in everything that I did. So if it falls apart, then the Lord knows I did my best. Then the Lord knows that when He blesses me, when I get up from here, He has to do it 10 times more. Because He saw me. Because He saw my hard work. So I need you to understand that when you are going through this process, you need to do away with caring about what people have to say, because people always have something to say. Even when you're going through beautiful things, when you're getting married, they had something to say about your dress, that it was ugly, it was this, it was that. So the same thing applies to even when you're getting divorced. Whoever that is laughing, it's okay, let them laugh. Focus on you. Focus on, we're gonna go back to the referral point, acceptance. Focus on accepting that this is the reality of my life, and I'm at war with this person, and there is no fairness in war, and there are going to be many instances where this person is just doing things which are going to break you, and you're going to even ask yourself that, did I really want to spend forever with this person? Did I really want to just do life with this person? Did I really compromise and sacrifice so much for this person because of the colors which they will be showing you? And I need you to understand that those colors that they're showing you those colors because it's now time for war. Had it ever happened that they don't have to be at war with you, you were never going to see that. But what you are seeing now is survival mode, is defense mode. And you also have to bring your own defense mode, because in this instance, you being a victim, you just allowing people to walk all over you, to crush you, to do whatever, is not really going to help you much. So number one, you need to be very much accepting. And as you are accepting whatever that comes your way, you need to just digest it and speak about it. Speak about it. I heard a lot of people saying that they don't want to speak because the people they speak to, they take their news and they pass it on and they laugh about it. But what I want to say to you right now is that people speak either way, right? And I feel like speaking for me is me taking power away from people, because if I tell my stories first, if I say it first that, listen, I'm losing my house is on Property 24, then whoever that wanted to make it some juicy news and wants to laugh about it, it's not fun anymore. It's not juicy anymore. Because if you want to say if you want to say anything about, that one, she lost her house, you can just go on YouTube, watch my video of me speaking about how I lost my house. So the juice is not there anymore. So I always take power, because if you don't want to tell your story, people will tell it on your behalf, and it's going to be so painful because they will be adding their spices and whatever. So tell your story all the time. Be accepting that this is your life. Accept that, you know what, I tried, I gave it my shot, but it didn't work out, but it's okay, right? And also, in the same breath, you have to take it easy on yourself. Take it easy on yourself. Stop blaming yourself so much, because the decisions which you made, stop regretting. Don't regret, because that is one thing that actually destroys a lot of us. You need to stop regretting. You need to stop saying, I wish I never. You did, because at the time it was the right thing to do. The time when you got married to this person, it was the right thing to do. When you sacrificed so much for this person, it was the right thing to do. So you can now come back and say, I wish I never, because the more you say, I wish I never, you are depressing yourself even more, you're stressing yourself even more. You are living the life of regret. You need to be accepting to a point where you just say, listen, even though I made a lot of bad choices in the past, even though I did a lot of things which are not wise things when I look at them now because they're coming back to bite me. At that time when I did them, they were the best things to do. I was making the best decisions. It made sense then why I had to do what I did. But then even though right now it's not making sense anymore, it's okay. Be accepting of that. Because even the decisions which you are making right now, there's a possibility that 10 years down the line, you could be regretting the decisions that you made today. But at this very moment, you feel like what you are making, the decisions that you are making right now, they're the best decisions of your life. So you have to be accepting. You have to be accepting and you have to not regret anything that you ever did. Whew. And another thing, you have to attend counseling, guys. I know that a lot of people think that counseling doesn't work, but it does work. It does work. You just have to give it some time. And you have to be honest. I think one of the reasons why people think counseling doesn't work is because they're not honest when they get there. You need to be honest in the sense that you don't need to be strong when you are speaking to your therapist. You don't have to be strong. You don't have to pretend as if you have it together. Even if today it seems as if you have it together and tomorrow you are falling back, you're going back to square one, it's okay. It's okay. Because this thing of bottling things on the inside and just suppressing things on the inside, it's too much. Guys, divorce is too much. Divorce is dark. And it's very, very dangerous for you to just do that thing on your own and not have anybody to speak to. If you don't have family members to speak to, then pay somebody to speak to. you know Pay somebody to speak to them, because that thing is deadly. I always say that I feel so overwhelmed because so many people come forth and say to me, listen, what you are going through, my mom went through the same thing and she died. And what you are going through is things that are happening but nobody wants to speak about them. It's so scary. It's scary to know that actually this is reality, this is life, but especially in the church, nobody wants to speak about these things because we focus on being positive only all the time. So you never get to know these things. You never get to know that actually this is life. This is life everywhere, in the church and outside. So for now, I think those are all the tips that I can give you, that I can think of in terms of how you should be coping. I will try taking you step by step. I will try to do step by step as the need arises. If there's anything that you would like me to give you a tip on regarding coping with anything in general, it doesn't necessarily have to be about divorce. If there's anything that you would like us to speak about, you are more than welcome to drop a comment and then we will just, discuss that. Thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate the support that you guys are showing me on this platform. It means a lot to me. Please continue to support my channel. Please continue to like, to subscribe, to just share and comment. God bless you.